My name is Linda Dishman, and I'm the Executive Director of the Los Angeles Conservancy, and it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you here today for our panel presentation. I'm just curious, how many of you grew up in a post-war suburb? How many live in one now? Okay. Well, we clearly have fans and enthusiasts here for the suburban model, and I think it's going to be a great discussion this morning. So it's nice that we have so many people in the audience that have such a personal connection to post-war suburbs. This program wraps up our Curating the City Modern Architecture in LA initiative, which we started back in April as part of the Getty Pacific Standard Time Presents Modern Architecture in LA. It's been a truly wonderful experience for us at the Conservancy to be part of a citywide examination of modern architecture, and we want to thank the Getty Foundation for making this all possible. We have several people from the Getty here today I want to acknowledge: Ann Helmrich, Christopher Alexander, and Dana Hutt. So let's all please thank them for all their support. We're very pleased to be holding this program in the San Fernando Valley, which is appropriate to today's discussion about sprawl and post-war development. Did everyone pick up a copy of the map that I have? But there it is. That we had at the handout when we first walked in. It's called Home on the Ranch. And if you have some time today after the panel, I encourage you to go out and drive the streets, see history in action, and really learn more about ranch house subdivisions, because they're fascinating, and we have a lot of them, but we don't have so many that we can squander the resource. So we encourage all of you to go out and get friendly with ranch houses and subdivisions. A lot of them retain a great amount of historic integrity, and it's really fun to see how different people imagined ranch houses and actually built them. The content on this document came directly from our new Curating the City microsite that was launched in early June as part of our total website redesign. And I hope you'll take some time to look at our website for all the other great content that is there, and we'll just keep adding to it time after time. So it's a good place to come back and visit us often and connect with preservation and historic resources. We're very happy today to be in this unique John Lautner building, which you'll learn more about in a moment. You may have noticed that the building is just across the parking lot. The Aquatic Center has been a victim of fire, and so we've offered our services to the company here to help in terms of how they're going to deal with that and hopefully come to a preservation solution. So we are looking forward to that. I do want to thank our host, Richard Briseno, the director of the Paul Weston Work Center, and everybody at Ability First for allowing us to use this space. Ability First, formerly known as the Crippled Children's Society of Southern California, provides programs and services to help children and adults with disabilities reach their full potential. This particular facility is a work center that provides gainful employment for adults with disabilities. All of our esteemed panelists are published authors, so immediately following the panel today, we will have books on sale and give you an opportunity to have them signed. After the book signing, and starting at 1:30, we are presenting a workshop in partnership with the City of Los Angeles Office of Historic Resources called Landmark This. This is a 3-hour workshop where you'll learn how to nominate a historic place for local landmark designation. This workshop will be held a few miles from here, still in the valley, only a 10-minute drive at the former Canoga Park Library. There are still a few spots available, and the admission is only $15. You can get more information at our membership table right out in the lobby if you're interested. And it's going to be a great panel, so if you've ever wondered, how do I nominate a building, this is the afternoon you want to have. Before I turn the panel over to our esteemed speakers, I do want to introduce Helena Arahuete, principal at Lautner Associates. Helena has worked for John Lautner for more than 20 years and continues his philosophy in her architectural practice, both in the restoration of Lautner's work and in her own projects. She was also Lautner's project architect on this very building, and she is the perfect person to tell us about it. So please welcome Helena.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm Helena Arahuete. I'm an architect. I had the privilege of working for John Lautner for a total of 23 years until his passing. And among other projects, I was the project architect of this building. So I am familiar with how it was designed and why it was designed and how it was built, because I had to do the architectural supervision of construction. I would encourage everyone to read that little text in the handout, which is my description of exactly why the building was designed this way. And in fact, it was a direct response to the requirements of the then center, the director of this center, Mrs. Mary Jane Moore, who wanted to be able to see everything that was going on in the center from her office without having to use any closed-circuit television system or cameras. So it was very important for her to have an open office. And at the same time, the budget was not large enough to be able to design the entire center and build it at once. So it had to be designed to be built in phases. Mr. Lautner listened very carefully to her requirements, as he would do with every client, and he conceived an open director's office situated at the center of the building. As you imagine, you position yourself, you want to see everything, so that pretty much generates a circular pie-shaped plan. And some of these wings were short, others were long. The short ones were intended to be completed at a later date as budget would permit. So each one of these wings was separated with these landscape penetrations. So there was a visual communication throughout the entire center, but at the same time, it created a beautiful environment with a lot of green and a feeling of openness to it. Unfortunately, it was not really completed entirely. This is the photo that was taken soon after it was completed. And if I may go to the next one, please. This is a floor plan. I don't know how well you can see it in this size. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's fine. There we go. It's loading. Should come right back up.
Okay. Sorry for the short interruption. Oh, it's in the screen, but not there.
There we go.
Next.
There you go.
Okay. Given the size of the photo, I don't know if everybody can see it. Perhaps it could be left for later on, because this illustrates exactly the floor plan of the original design. So actually, there was an enclosed swimming pool which continued in one of these wings, which later became the aquatic center. In any case, this is an interesting building in the way it represents Mr. Lautner's work. Because he did non-conventional structures, his work was often misunderstood and criticized for being arbitrary. However, everything in every project is deliberately designed a certain way as a direct response, very logical and creative response to the owner's requirements, the climate, the environment, and everything that should be a part of good architectural design. So, do you want to go to the next one? Here is these are photos that are not really professional photos. I took them while the construction was being completed, but it illustrates how each one of the wings converge to the center of the building, which you can obviously see when you turn around, and the elevated director's office, and how the natural light was used to create this open flow. And next. And this is the central skylight. Basically, as the wings converge, they appear to be hanging. In fact, they are spanning to that circular column. And on the opposite side, with the open landscaped area, there are steel tie-downs that basically connect that column down to the foundation, which were intended to have a mesh around them and have vines and all kinds of greenery, offering shading to the director's office, given the very hot temperatures that we can get here sometimes in the valley. Well, that is basically what I can say. I would encourage everybody to read that little text. The names of the people involved are all there. The builder, Paul Spear, who had built other centers before this center, and he basically provided the introduction of Mr. Lautner to the directors at that time. Okay, if you have any very brief questions, and I have a limited time, I would answer them. If not, let's proceed to the next